Our morning call live from the CNBC TV 18 headquarters in Mumbai.
Good morning. Welcome to Bazaar Morning Call. I'm Lata Venkatesh, and joining me in the studio is Sonia Shenoy. Joining from home is Anuj Singhal. Well, things are as expected globally, actually. There isn't, it's not that we are in sync with global cues all the time, but today the cues are as expected. The Fed was dovish as expected. There is not too much of celebration in the Asian markets. Even Dow futures are a bit, I think, 0.3 down. So global cues are not giving us too much of a lead either ways. It's a bit mixed at this point in time. Indian cues, the real economy and the numbers are not going to give us much encouragement. Report after report tells you that July was no better than June. And the earnings, all the big earnings have been bad, but they've been bad as expected. Maruti posts a loss, Indigo posts a huge loss, TVS not too good, CEAT not too good. Yes, there is an odd Bharti, which was better than expected. But otherwise, there is nothing big in the results season as well to cheer. But the market is running on its own adrenaline. We know it's running on liquidity and we know it's running on reliance. Both those become important today. It's unlikely that the market will have the courage to go into the Reliance earnings with a negative hue. The stock has performed so well all through the last 3-4 months. As well, it's F&O expiry. So entirely depends on market positioning. I'll hand it over to the person who's watching it most closely. Anuj, how is the market positioned on expiry day? Can we have any intelligent guesses?
Morning, Lata. Well, you know what, you spoke about Reliance, and yesterday that actually was the reason that the market fell.
Dragged.
Perhaps because, you know, everyone just went too much on the one side, and and that's why, you know, that stock sort of dragged, and there was quite a bit of delivery selling. Almost 1 crore shares were marked for delivery on Reliance. But anyway, look, the market is very volatile. Just on Wednesday, we thought that the market's, on Tuesday, we thought the market has broken out finally, and that range is history now, and the market will perhaps add on. And as it turned out, perhaps the breakout was a false breakout. Like you said, F&O expiry today. The Reliance results are post-expiry. So it will be interesting, there could be one Reliance trade up until 3 p.m. and another Reliance trade post 3 p.m. That's why I say that today's best trade is to perhaps not trade at all if you are an intraday trader. Also, HDFC will come out with numbers. So let's see. The FI data is mixed. It's all over the place. There has been some long build-up as well, but there's been heavy short build-up. So, I think I'm finding it tough to sort of decipher. The only thing I can say is that perhaps you could play the range smartly, which is yesterday's high and low, 11,150 to 11,350. That's a 200-point band. And if we, are somewhere around 11,250, perhaps it's a field day for option writers in the first half. And then post 3 p.m., perhaps led by Reliance, the market makes a directional move. The other interesting bit, Lata, which has quietly, creeped up in the market is the underperformance of HDFC Bank. HDFC Bank, as we speak, is negative for the month, in a month in which the Nifty has given you 9% returns. It very, very rarely happens. And this overhang of Aditya Puri selling stake is clearly there on the stock. And that's why every time there's a rally, there's a seller who comes in and sells the stock. In fact, yesterday Reliance and HDFC Bank accounted for 90 out of 97 point Nifty fall. Advance decline was positive. So yesterday the market, just like on the way up these two stocks used to dominate, yesterday on the way down also these two stocks dominated. This kind of volatility is precursor to a big directional move. Unfortunately, we don't know the direction of that move. Last word you said on Bharti, I think that could be the stock to track at least in the morning. 612, the previous high, which is where promoters sold stake, 610. That is the key level. Every time it's going there, it's seeing selling. But could these results take you above that? That I think would be an interesting part to watch out for. But purely on expiry play, I think I expect a big 3 p.m. move today. Sonia, good morning.
Hi Anuj, morning. Lata, morning. So, given what we saw yesterday, Anuj, do you reckon that there could be some more pressure today, just purely because, look at the numbers. FIs, DIs both sold in the markets yesterday. FIs sold 350 crores, domestic institutions sold 500 crores. And there was big delivery-based selling, not just in Reliance. I mean, there was about 850 crore delivery selling in HDFC. There was 600 crores selling in ICICI Bank, 500 crores in Infosys. And, that last hour move that we saw made you a bit uncomfortable about whether the rally will hold at all. What does one do in such a situation? I mean, do you think that the best of the up move is now behind us and it could start to get a bit sketchy?
That's what we have thought many times, Sonia, as early as Monday. Remember the kind of decline that we had on Monday, and we thought perhaps things are getting, overheated and market needs to take a backseat. And you saw what happened on Tuesday. We had a 150-point Nifty rally on Tuesday. Yesterday again we had a 100-point decline. I think today there's no point preempting what the market would do because the big number comes out post market hours, Reliance. And I think that's why today perhaps you stay a bit nimble and just protect your keep your powder dry. Post the numbers of Reliance and HDFC, the market will still give you a big trade. So I think it's better to do that. I know there are compulsive traders who will play on both sides. They can use options, but futures trading I think right now is a bit dangerous.
Well, actually, HDFC, I wouldn't worry so much. I mean, it's been a steady set and it's gone through thick and thin, and it is not seeing any leadership change. So perhaps HDFC, do you think it will be that kind of a decider? And more than that, Anuj, the market, say what you will, is getting some kind of a pushback at the 11,280, 11,300 mark, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So you asked me two questions. On HDFC, it's important because it's on expiry day.
Okay.
And you remember I always watch out for HDFC. It depends on expiry day in any case. So that's why my sense is that perhaps HDFC helps the market, helps the bulls on the upside. It's been a strong stock, and a lot of money has shifted from HDFC Bank into HDFC. So that's why perhaps HDFC may not be that much of a negative factor, Lata. On this 11,280, 11,300, like I said, we have thought about this in the past on 10,800, 11,000 and 11,200 as well. The larger texture of the market has been buy on dips. As of now, that's not got disturbed.
Not got disturbed globally either. So perhaps, that equity rush will continue. Okay, so the important equity opinion of the day coming from Neelkant.
Yes, in fact, Neelkant Mishra of Credit Suisse, we kickstart with him. He says that even as GDP in developed economies is below par, retail sales, a proxy for consumption, has recovered, implying growing trade deficits. Countries with low control on the pandemic are seeing the reverse of that. Weak domestic demand and better exports, and India is one of them. The current deluge of dollars has some one-off drivers, but large balance of payment surpluses could sustain for several quarters due to the current account reasons. A surfeit of capital, if not channeled, can create asset bubbles that hot.
Actually, it's a very good report. If I will summarize it later for you. He's saying that, like other economies, RBI is also pumping money, but it is not pumping money by buying government bonds, it is pumping money by buying dollars, which is a bit unfortunate because you would want the government to have more money. It's a very interesting play or look analysis of the way monetary policy is shaping up. But here's more direct equity opinion coming from Aditya Narayan of Edelweiss. He says, India is rallying with supply. The dialogue, though, lies in the demand. The 5 C's of consumer and corporate, which are cash flow, capital, confidence, concessions, change, and their interplay, will determine the path of the economy and businesses. Market mood notwithstanding, demand aggregates appear challenging, and that makes them cautious on the market. Well, you can repeat that ad nauseum. There is no demand in the market.
There is no demand in the market, barring a few pockets, of course. In the money markets, the rupee has been holding below that 75 to the dollar mark. So yesterday as well, it closed around 74.79. Here are some views for today. Mohan Shenoy of Kotak Mahindra Bank says the rupee is trading in a very narrow range, unable to go below the support level of 74.50 despite global dollar decline, partly due to the RBI intervention. The dollar index is at a multi-year low at 93.30 and is poised to move towards 90. Dollar weakness has been supportive of gold. The dollar INR is expected to trade in a range of 74.70 to 75.
Okay. And on bond markets, Mohan Shenoy says expectations of further rate cuts by the Reserve Bank are receding due to higher CPI. Surprise auction of a new 10-year benchmark tomorrow have weakened sentiment in the G-Sec market. Yields on corporate bonds have also risen due to selling by some mutual funds. Expected trading range for the day 5.81 to 5.85. Well, now let's look at the US markets. In the US markets, Wall Street ended with gains after the Federal Reserve decided to keep rates unchanged. The Federal chairperson, Jerome Powell, reiterated that the Fed will maintain its historic stimulus measures until they are confident that the economy has weathered the crisis. Let's get a wrap of what happened with respect to the Fed and the Jerome Powell press conference from Steve Leisman.
It's been a really interesting kind of dynamic here where I think the Fed has had this right, but I'm not sure that following the Fed, having this right made anybody some money. And if you give me a second to explain, Powell has been hammering this idea of the uncertainty about the economic effects of the virus, the uncertainty about the course of the virus. And I think if you go back and look at him hammering that uncertainty, he's been correct about how things ended up. We were not coming back very quickly. There was a good chance we were going to have another spread of the virus. There was a good chance that we were going to have another downturn. That was a big part of what he emphasized today, was that the high frequency data that they're looking at has gone flat to turning downward. All of that has meant an enormous amount of stimulus from the Federal Reserve. And all of that has meant the stock market can go about its merry way, I mean, ostensibly oblivious to what's going on with the virus and now the ensuing downturn or slowing of the pace of the recovery. So Powell's had this right, the Fed has had this right, but I think following them would have led you to a much too pessimistic a view about what was going to happen with stocks.
Okay, so that's a dovish Fed, but let's